Welcome to Young and Active, the podcast where we spotlight bold voices, big ideas, and the youth shaping the future of Africa. I am your host, Lady Glow, and as usual, we sit here with game changers, trailblazers, and everyday people doing extraordinary things. Today, we're talking about unleashing the potentials in Africa. Our guest today is a visionary leader who is not just talking about youth empowerment, he is making it happen. As the Executive Director of the African Youth Forum International, he's helped create real opportunities for young people to lead, innovate, and rise, from building youth networks to driving policy change. This is someone who walks the talk, and we are beyond excited to have him here. This is Young and Active, and I'm doing this with my co-host,
Nana Charles, call me NYC for short, aka Charlie Thursday, and it's still the same me. And so today, before we introduce our guest, I want to remind you that this program is proudly brought to you by FekaTek Ventures. We say we are here to serve. DAYSTYLLE Fashion, we say every day in style. And Believe CONCEPTZ, we say your design solutions. And today, like my sister Glow said, to help us do the discussion today is a very noble man, and he goes by the name Ambassador Carlos Boakye. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Great. Nice to have you here. Nice to have you here. Please tell us a bit about yourself.
All right. So my name is officially Ambassador Carlos Boakye. I'm the Executive Director for Africa Youth Forum International. So as a youth-led organization, what we do is that we work directly with policymakers, including the United Nations and the African Union, to see how we can shape the policy formation of the AU when it comes to the African Union Youth Charter and the United Nations SDGs. So these are some of the things that we do, and we work with member states, government officials, and CSOs to make sure that this happens.
Great. In fact, you see, he's such a big man, but he's a humble fellow. And yes, I like him. He's very sober, but sober men like this, when you see them, you know that they have deep things. And so be ready for deep things today.
All right. So thank you so much for coming on Young and Active. We are beyond excited to have you here on the show. Like I said earlier on, today we're talking about unleashing potentials in Africa. So my first question will be, when we talk about unleashing potentials in Africa, what does it look like in Africa today?
Well, to address these issues, we have to go back to where we started as Africans, right? So to know the future, you have to read the past to predict the future.
Okay.
And one of the things that most of the young people over the ages are currently looking at is opportunities. So how does it look like to unleashing their potential? Is one, we saw that there was a trend between policymakers and young people, and there was a little bit gap between how young people want the continent to be developed and how policymakers also want the continent to be developed. So this is where our organization comes in to break that gap. We create a platform where young people get the opportunity to sit down with policymakers and address the major issues that are affecting them. And through these dialogues with heads of states, including ministers from various member states, we have Her Excellency Dr. Nkosazana Zuma, the former chairperson of the African Union, and other high-level Her Excellency Ambassador Ama, who used to be the Ghana ambassador to the African Union and the United Nations Economic Council. So all these people were part of the people that we invited to come in the room to shape how they can actually address the urgent needs of young people. So unleashing their potential starts from dialogue, then from dialogue to policy formations, then from policy formation to implementations, and into implementation to the opportunity that the youth actually need. So these are the structures we put in place to address the major needs of the young people.
Great. Excellent. I like the way it was formulated. Right. Because I can see that it's in an order. And then we've come to understand from your perspective or what you were saying, from where you work or how you people do your work. You have been the gap between the youth and the policymakers, right, where you bridge the gap, where the youth are able to share their views on how they think some of the policies should be maybe looked at, or how some policies should also be made that will be in their favor or help everyone around them. Great. Okay, so let's move to the next question. You see, many people, have big dreams, whether it's education, whether funding networks, a lot of them. How can the youth overcome, this lack of access and still make progress? Because that people they want to do this, they want to do that, but lack of access, whether it's education or whatsoever it is. How can they overcome that?
Trust me, if you look out, you see a lot of opportunities. Okay. But the big question is, do you qualify? Right. So one of the things that we've been working with the African Union, even doing this week, we are having the high-level dialogues with the heads of states, with the African Union leaders, including the head of AGA, Ambassador Salah, who works with the African Union when it comes to security, governance, and architecture of the African Union. So even yesterday, we were at the high-level meeting to see how we can actually address the young people's need through dialogues. And the first thing that came up was that we need to mobilize the young people on the continent. Because what you end up seeing is everybody is doing things in their own small way, but it's not united. So we have youth in South Africa. I speak with a lot of them in there. We have youth in Uganda. I speak with a lot of them in there. But everybody is kind of doing their own way. So the opportunities are there. But when we come together, we'll be able to create a pool of opportunities where young people can easily then go in there and tap in. And as one of our initiatives that we are working to engage with the President's Office, we recently signed a partnership with the Diaspora Affairs of the President's Office to see how we can even bring diasporans who have a lot of investment opportunities and they really want to come home and invest here, to see how we can streamline those investments to benefit the younger people. And later this week, we launched the Youth Skills Hub in partnership with the National Youth Authority and the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO. And what we intend to do is we intend to train 10,000 young people in AI, in waste management, and in agribusiness. So we just also included cybersecurity as part of the framework, because one of the things we realized was that young people actually lack the skill set even to tap into those opportunities when they are presented to them. So we want to start from there, train them with the necessary skills that they have so that they can even meet those opportunities that, hey, okay, if you are recruiting people in AI, you do have the skill set. If you have Google comes to you right now and say, we want to recruit young people who are skilled into AI development or advanced AI skill set, what can they do? So we also partner with 0-100, which is a partner organization of Google, to come here and train you to get those access to those platforms. Train yourself within a period of 3 months, and then or 6 months, you are done. Google already have job opportunities for you to go outside and explore those things. So there's tons of opportunities, just that the youth are not skill set ready. And that is where we come in to address those things. Thank you.
So in a nutshell, I think you're trying to say you're creating opportunities for the youth to develop their skills in order to be able to gain access opportunities, which I believe is a very good initiative. Yes, I know you're creating Agri, AI, and all those platforms. What about those who come with talents? Who come with, they have their own talent.
And
they want to build
the rooms.
Yes. So how or what measures do you put in place to help those people?
So
or have you put it in place?
Yes. So we were very fortunate to be invited by the Minister for Youth, Honorable George Opare, to be in the room doing the National Youth Festival Lunch Initiative. And I think they invited some of the artists who came in there, and then also some of the policymakers from UNDP and also within the National Youth Authority. And I think these questions was even asked about what are the ministries doing to address artists and other stuff. And trust me, there's a lot of opportunities that are coming in, because over a long period of time, we haven't have a separate ministry for youth. We were having a ministry for youth and sports, but the focus wasn't actually focused on youth. It was more of sports. But for the first time, we have a whole ministry dedicated to empower the youth. And this is where we come in to actually sit down with the minister. We did that 2 days ago. We sat down with the minister to propose some of the initiatives that will benefit the young people as the new ministry. And the minister was open. He was like, this is why we created this ministry for you. So you got to be in the rooms. We create those platforms. Be there. Let us know your concerns. And then when we sit down with the minister, we can address some of the initiative. So for instance, if you're an artist, if you have opportunities and you really want to explore, join our platform. we will know, okay, you want to benefit. These are the opportunities that we can liaise with the ministry and then get it the opportunity that you want for you. And there's a lot of opportunities coming, even doing this August, which the ministry is launching the Youth Festival initiative coming this month.
Okay, great. Before we move to our main question, I have a follow-up question for what you just said. I believe that anytime we talk talent, we talk music, we talk acting, we talk things that we know as Ghanaians. Ghanaians are very they take one thing that we know that, okay, this is what we call talent. Right. But what about the artists? You're talking about artists, not singers. Right. The artists, those who draw, those some talents are hidden.
Yeah,
you don't. It's very difficult when you go out there. It's a big deal.
Right.
And so, but when you come here in Ghana, it's something else. What about those people? Because some dreams are dying somewhere because their talents are not recognized.
Yeah.
And so, what are the things aside the artists and everything we know? What are some things you're putting in place to help those people?
So it's amazing that you brought this stuff because I am the advisor, the global advisor to the UN Global Art and Culture Working Group. Okay. So we work with the UN on arts-related issues when it comes to creative economy, gig economy, and other stuff. So coming December, we are launching what we call the Africa Youth Rise Initiative. And during the program outline or the concept, we have dedicated one day specifically for artists or specifically to address the major needs of artists. And we are doing that with institutions like the African Union Development Agency, with the AFTA, the Africa Continental Free Trade Secretariat, and the AU Commission to address some of these major challenges. Because one thing we realized was that, yes, there's a lot of problems for young people, but there was not a platform wasn't created.
Exactly.
So what we then came in was that, okay, how do we create that platform? And most of the times, like AU is there to address your needs. But the question is, how do you get to them?
That's
the access.
Right. You know? So I know a lot of young people, and I remember when we were putting the concept note for the Skills Hub initiative, this was one of the things UNIDO emphatically stated, that we shouldn't even focus only just youth that are graduate. What about the youth that are in the street? Right. So one of the concepts that we decided, because most of the opportunities, sometimes age restrictions, sometimes qualification restrictions, limit a lot of young people to tap into these things. Yeah. So one of the things that we did was we removed those qualification barriers.
Okay.
So that you can easily come in. UNIDO is already offering a lot of opportunities for young people. You can come in, register as we speak. The registration is open. You can register, and then on our various social media handles, Africa Youth Forum International, or you can visit our website, africayouthforum.org. International is spelled INTL.org. And then you can have access to all these things. Because let's talk facts. 70% of the population on this continent are young people. And also not just 70% of the continent are young people, 50% of the raw population are young people. But yet only 2.5% of these young people are represented in any parliamentary affairs globally. I'm not even talking from Africa's perspective.
It's very visible.
So let's break it down. This is a data coming from the UN Youth Office, which we also liaise with. And meaning that if you are to pick the 365 days, which is the whole year, young people around the world will only get 10 days out of the entire year for their voice to be heard when it comes to policy formation. So, and if I break it down on the continent level, it's not even up to 0.1. So these are one of the things that we saw as organization to make sure that we break this gap. So we are not just empowering, we are shaping policies, right? Because I can empower you, start doing something, but if you don't have the two, right? I can empower you like a military soldier. I can empower you, train you, but if I don't give you the tools need to be fit enough during war times, you are not going to survive. So this is where we come in to also address. And one of the things that yesterday I addressed it to the heads of state, that we need a whole platform, a continental body similar to the African Union, the United Nations Youth ECOSOC Assembly, where young people around the continent can have a general assembly, address their concerns to the African heads of state, because we don't have similar platform. AU has a youth envoy office who sit on the AU cabinet to address young people's needs, but it's just one person. We also have a whole directorate for the African Union, which is the Youth, Gender and Women Directorate. Yet they are there, but we need a whole body, a whole general assembly, because let's talk fact. we are the majority if we are focusing on democracy to govern ourselves, because majority are the people. They are the ones supposed to rule. And the thing is, when you sit down with policymakers, they know these concerns. They want to come to the young people, but sometimes the young people themselves are not even ready.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
They are not ready?
Yeah. Why am I saying they're not ready?
I was just about asking that.
Because I've been in high level rooms. I've been with the highest level of power at the president level, at the ministerial level, and at the youth level, because I am a youth myself. Yeah. And sometimes you host an event, a virtual live dialogue, and you really, all you just want is young people to show up, right? Just show up and let's discuss this. And you end up having only 30 people joining. And you are in Ghana, right? And you want to promote Ghanaians youth diplomacy, right? And you count the Ghanaians in that room, they are not even up to 10.
Could it be they didn't get access to data or something like that to join?
Could it be maybe your publication didn't go that far?
Exactly.
Well, we do have a lot of vast platforms, because on our WhatsApp platform alone, we have almost over 2,000 young people in there alone. We have high level, we have prime ministers, we have president and other high level on that platform. And the reason why I was a little bit concerned, because working with the youth on policy making, it's a little bit easy because those policymakers are ready for you.
Okay.
But the question is, are you ready? Because one of the questions Her Excellency Dr. Nkosazana Zuma gave it to us was that, listen, we put up the Agenda 2063. The whole Agenda 2063 was a framework towards empowering Africa, a whole integration of how to empower Africa. But one of the things we realized was that the youth are not mobilized, right? And sometimes we will put a survey there, they will fill it, but when you call for a high level dialogues or a virtual dialogues, it's only a few people that are in that room. And I think this is the time that we need to change, probably because of media engagement. Because let's talk facts. AU is now organizing a media fellowship program to empower most media journalists to get access to opportunity. Because after the data, we realized that 80% of the data information flow within the continent are not even being broadcast by the continent people themselves. Right? So yes, we have institutions like BBC who talks about Africa on the continent of Africa, but BBC is not from Africa. You have institutions like CNN talking about Africa, but they are not from Africa. Yes, you may have Africans in it, but guess what? Before those information is being talked by those Africans, there are a whole auditing group that are going through to make sure that it fits their ideology.
Exactly.
It fits their standard. So as Africans, one of the things that we need to do, and on the investment side, sometimes it's a little bit, when I hear some of the youth asking me, what is the AU doing or what is the government doing to empower them? And I think these were some of the issues that were popped up during our high level dialogue, was that what's the AU doing? Let's talk facts here. We all want economic empowerment, but 70% of the African Union budget come from external donors. So if we really want to invest in the youth, or if we really want to change the narrative on the continent, we got to invest in our own self, right?
Okay, if you say we have to invest in our own self, which I'll really come to that.
Right.
We were talking about people, the youth, that when you call them to come and voice out, a few people come. Maybe the other people are not outspoken like those people who come. So why don't you go to them, get what they want, or get to know what they need, and then you bring it on board?
Right. And that is exactly what we are doing as an organization. So we engage directly with young people, not just only in Ghana. We operate in 15 countries, including South Africa, Sierra Leone, and other stuff. And that is the first thing that we are trying to do. But back to my point on why the youth, I feel like the youth are not popping up. It's because sometimes these young people, I don't know, but it's a little bit concerns. We are doing stuff. Opportunities are there. But are you opportunity ready? Let me correct it down.
So like some are not opportunity ready.
Some of them, for instance, most young people, if you tell them, do you want to travel abroad? Yes. But if you ask some of them, they don't even have a passport.
Yeah,
I get it.
Right?
Sure.
So how do you tap into these opportunities when you are not ready? You know? So sometimes opportunities are always there, but just that you yourself haven't positioned yourself in the right space to make sure that those opportunities are for you.
Exactly.
Right? Okay. So, for instance, government will come in, want to support your businesses. You have a business idea, but government won't give you money when you haven't registered the business. You know?
Right.
So you end up having a lot of young people say, I have this idea, I need somebody to invest in me. Listen, most angel investors won't give money to somebody who has his idea just on in mindset.
No, obviously.
So first of all, one of the things that I've seen on the continent is start something. You know, when I started, I want to use myself as an example. When I started, it's not like I started and then the door was open. No, sometimes you have to kick the door. If the door is not open, you have to kick it. Right? So when I started, sometimes you go for conference, you don't even had money to even move around, right? But guess what? Determination and connecting with the right people opened the doors for you. Because sometimes, you know, the people in power, it's not like they fear the youth. They don't fear the youth. But there's a little bit concern of, okay, let's say I'm a driver. I'm old and I'm driving the vehicle. And you are my mate and you're a young person. But you don't know how to drive. But you are still asking me to step down to give you the driving seat. That is a concern, you know. So when you meet policymakers, these are some of the things that they are trying to address. That first of all, meet the skills gap or meet the skills first.
Okay.
So once you meet those skills, then you can then be in the room, right? So that is where we notice some of the skill sets when it comes to opportunities. We decided, okay, this year we're going to focus on skills development, right? So that we train young people in AI because AI is the thing, right? We are even talking about AI. United States is transitioning to general artificial intelligence.
Okay, so before we enter into the United States, now let's come to the youth. And I love the part that you said you should start something, you know, and I believe most of the youth, they are not prepared yet. They want to get there. Now let's come to those who are ready, right? Where age becomes a barrier, you know, like there's a saying, hey, you're too young, so whatever you say is not taken seriously. How can Africans who are not qualified in age limits still lead?
Amazing. This reminds me when I met the Prime Minister of Grenada. Because if I show you our pictures, we kind of look the same in terms of facial, right? So young people actually lead. When you go to Botswana, their Minister for Youth, she's 26.
Okay.
Right? And recently, I think one of their Minister for Energy was appointed. She is also a very young lady, right? So it's not that young people are not leading, but here's the problem. Young people have the power to lead. Yes, we do. But giving you the power, what are you going to lead us to? Why are you leading us to? So first of all, before we even talk about leading, we got to know the direction in which we are going. If it's part of our national policy that within the next 10 years, 5 years, we want to fill the cabinet with youth, and it's a national policy being passed by parliament, definitely young people will get the opportunity to lead. But here's the case. Here's the catch. You're not going to get it easy. Because power is not given, it's fight for. You know, and that's one of the things I learned along the line.
Power is not given.
Power is not given.
Okay.
So if you're asked to be given, they are not going to give it to you.
Exactly.
It's being taken. So one of the barriers, yes, when I started, I faced those barriers. I remember I went to one of the international institutions and I sat there and we had everything amazing, all planned out, worked out. We were done. We were supposed to meet and get this thing through. And then when they saw my face, it became a whole interrogation, right? How did you start it? Are you sure you know these people? Are you sure you know? Yes, it's there.
So here, will you say your age was a limitation?
Yeah, I won't say my age was.
Okay, like your youthfulness.
No, it's. I believe it's not about usefulness.
It's not even a matter of
they look at you, your personality, and they feel like, how can a small boy like you?
Exactly.
That mentality is what is killing, like, especially the African nations. They feel if you are old, it's the same as the wisdom, because they feel you have experience.
Exactly.
But you see, I bet you, some youth
are more wiser. So yeah, Mr. Carlos, what was it for you like in that room?
So listen, nobody pick it easy.
Yeah.
And if you think people have figured it out, nobody have figured it out.
Right.
Right? When you even meet Aliko Dangote, he's still doing something despite him being the richest man. And he will tell you his biggest challenge. You think it's a youth challenge or age challenge.
Yeah.
I was honored to sit down with him, right? And had a dialogue. And I later learned that it's an African challenge. It's not even a matter of your age. It's not even a matter, because listen, this man wanted to build the largest refinery on the continent, right? And he wanted to transition Nigeria to become the hub for that drive. Guess what? He poured over $2 billion into this formation. It took him over 10 years to bring it from an idea to implementation. And I remember doing one of our dialogues with him, he vividly said that the challenges was the government.
Okay.
Right? Imagine you going to buy a land just to start a massive project like this, and your budget estimation was $2 billion. Okay, fine. I want to build this refinery hub here. The land acquisition was even a challenge for him in the first place, right? Now, after dealing with issues on the land acquisition, he later learned that the land, its texture is not even enough to hold the whole entire refinery. Secondly, he also realized that the road in which he would need to build those infrastructure there wasn't even ready, because that road, if some of the infrastructure that he's going to import and bring to Nigeria, their road can't hold it. So he needed to build his own road, right, from the port to his site. So Dangote had his own road from the port to the sites, assembling site. Right. These were things he didn't even budget for, right? So first of all, as a young entrepreneur, one thing that you got to know is determined mind. That yes, they will say no, but it doesn't mean it's a no. It means you need to fight for it. Okay. So you end up having a situation where yes, people say, and trust me, the no is going to be more than the yes, but the yes outweighs the no.
So right now, my focus is, like you were given an example that you entered into an institution whereby the moment they looked at you, they started, asking certain questions you least expected.
Right.
Now, in this situation, how were you able to handle it, as a youth?
So let me use my experience. Instead of seeing it as a barrier, I look at what do they really want. So we have what we call the perception mindset. Yeah. Like they see you as a young person. Exactly. But when you get in the room with an older person, then they know that you are capable. Because sometimes this is where young people need to, you need to connect with the elders that have already done. Yeah. Right? People who have track record, they can hold your hands in a meeting and the meeting will be done. All you got to do is that go to them, let them know you have this time. So what I did was that I reached out to one minister, right? One deputy minister, which I don't want to mention the name. And I told him my concerns, right? And he was like, perfect. Just reschedule the meeting. Let's meet. Let's sit down with them. And guess what? The deal was done.
Wow. So you have to connect with the right people.
Connecting with the right people.
Whenever you're facing the challenge of you are too young and all that.
Because listen, the old people are there. We are not utilizing them. Young people have the energy, the strength, the talent, but they lack the wisdom. Okay. Old people have the wisdom, but they lack the energy. So how do? You connect them. So as an entrepreneur, first thing is that, okay, this is where this one's problem is. This is my problem. Let's connect to fix the problem.
Right.
Wow. I know that this conversation is getting very entertaining and very educative. I am learning a lot, and I know that you out there, you're also learning a lot. As a youth, you know that there are challenges you would face when you want to start something, and you still have to push through. And so before we move to our next question, or before we continue our show or our conversation, I want to remind you that this show is proudly brought to you by DAYSTYLLE Fashion. If you're looking for a kaftan, men's wear, women's wear, children's wear, any dress for any occasion, do not look elsewhere than DAYSTYLLE Fashion. DAYSTYLLE Fashion, we say every day in style. You can follow them on all social media platforms at DAYSTYLLE Fashion. And also FekaTek Ventures, where if you want Wi-Fi, routers, everything, any internet device and accessories, you don't have to look elsewhere or anywhere than FekaTek Ventures. At FekaTek Ventures, we say we are here to serve. And also Believe CONCEPTZ for all your motion graphics, your graphic designs, your internet websites, and all others. You don't have to look anywhere else. Believe CONCEPTZ. At Believe CONCEPTZ, we say your design solutions. And so we're moving to the next question. It's getting entertaining. I'm loving it.
Exactly.
And I like the fact that you give vivid explanations to whatever we put in front of you to help us with. Okay. And so you see, right now, a lot of youth, we feel stuck when it comes to unemployment. I don't have a job to do. I don't have this. And so they're always quelled in. They feel like They don't have the access. Fine, you're talking about access right now, but not everyone can have the access. A lot of people have plans and things to do. But those who feel we are unemployed, so we can't do this, we are this, so we can't do that. I mean, what advice do you have for them, or any motivation, something you can do to tell them that you can do it? What do you have? Because you have been through it and you are where you are today.
The mindset of I don't even have an opportunity or access is just an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because look around the city of Accra, right? There's a bunch of signboard of opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is just show up. Now, when you're showing up, what you got to do is connect with the right people. Now, here's the catch. I remember doing the AU Day celebration. I said this during the University of Ghana when I was a speaker on that section. And one of the things I said was that some young people approached me that, oh, I have this amazing idea, but when I speak with these people, they didn't support me. You know what? It's because you are connecting with the wrong people.
Okay.
You see, for instance, let's say you are a minister in charge of energy. And I come to you with things that are different from energy. Will you be in alignment with me?
No, it doesn't tell you.
Exactly. So connect with people that are already in line with the things you are doing. Right? So for instance, if I want to be a driver, why would I go and see a carpenter?
Yeah.
Even though the carpenter may be skilled in that field, but that angle of me picking, yes, he may be an older person or he may be well known in that society,
but it doesn't tally.
It doesn't align.
Yeah.
So first of all, know yourself. So one of the things that I think of in Ghana I've seen is that education system doesn't really let us know who we are. Right?
Okay.
Because we've been always copying what is written.
Exactly.
And using it as our identity. But that is not.
So we come out confused.
Right? When you're in school, you think like life is easy. Like for instance, they ask you, what would you want to do? You say, I want to be a doctor. And then after school, you end up becoming even a DJ. Right?
Yeah. DJ.
Right.
Of course.
So because you didn't actually look within when you were answering those questions.
And the thing is that the big mistake here is that, you see, they don't sit us down to tell us. The parents or maybe even the teachers won't say that, I see this in your child. I think when you push them this way. Now, when the child is growing, you see the child down. What do you see? Because fine, you see, when you're growing, I studied something. When you are growing, there are some things that as a child, it doesn't even cross your mind. You understand? So you, the parent or the teacher, bringing the attention of the child to that very instance is what will build the child. But then go to school, learn, finish, come and get a job to do. That is the mentality at the back of their mind. So they come out and they are confused because if they come out and what they taught them in school is not working, that is all. Even
like the parents, you're expecting them to shape the kids. They are even putting pressure on the youth. Like, okay, you've completed. Go and find something to do. So at the end of the day, the youth that is supposed to focus on the vision and build, now they have to please family's expectations.
There's nothing like creativity here. It's even if they have, it's dead.
Ambassador Carlos, I want to. Okay, fine.
No, wait. I'm not saying they don't have. They do have, but like the pressure coming, and when they feel like, oh, you see, they'll tell you, oh, you can't do it. You do have money to start it. You do this, you do that. You understand? But if we are being if you have someone who sees what is in you to tell you right from the start, I believe you'll be able to do something better with your life than waiting for a job opportunity or waiting to get a job.
Because that is how the person has been taught for the past 60 years.
So in this case,
through education system, after school, what is next? Job.
Yeah.
That is how your brain, they have been programming all of us. After school, what is next? Job.
Yeah.
So let me use myself as an example. If you want to swim with the sharks, you got to learn how the sharks swim. So
that's deep.
One of the things I learned along the line or the journey of my self-discovery was I discovered that like in high school, in normal school, I was always a leader. Even when they don't like me.
You were what?
I was always a leader.
Okay.
In school, I was a head prefect. From primary, So I think I discovered most of my potential when I was in high school, right? And I remember I used to be on every SRC committee board.
Would you like to share your, the name of your school with us? Oh, not really. Okay.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
So one of the things I discovered was that, okay, I now know I'm a leader. But what kind of a leader? Sometimes you may be a leader of a follower. Or you may be the one like Kwame Nkrumah.
Yeah.
So you should know, okay, who am I? That is not something somebody needs to teach me. It's die within yourself. You know, you were saying that like the teacher needs to teach you this. The teacher himself even has issues within his own self.
The reason why I was hitting on that point is that, you see, growing up, I'm talking about you get to a point before you get to know.
Right.
Now, a lot of children spend more time with their teachers
More
than with their parents.
Yeah.
It's just a few parents that get to realize the talent of their kids. Just a few of them. But the teachers know more.
Right.
So I believe that the teachers, maybe their problems overcome, their problems, blind them from seeing those things. But you see, any teacher who is keen on, getting right things for the children would see and tell the parents, oh, I think if the parents take it, fine. But some parents will just, brush it away. But others who are serious with their kids will take it personal and take it to another level.
And my question is, who is even a teacher? Is it the one in the classroom?
Okay.
Or
is it the one in the classroom
or the one that is, because teachers can be found in so many ways. Let me use myself as an example so that you understand. Yes, when it comes to academics, I had a teacher who was teaching me academic. But when it comes to my life goals and career development, I wasn't looking for the teacher in the classroom.
Yeah.
I was reading books on teachers that have already done the things I wanted to do.
Okay.
I did my research and I later discovered that an average CEO read 50 books in a year. So if I want to be a CEO, what do I do?
Start reading.
But you want to be a CEO, you barely read a book even in a year.
But the thing is that, you see, the reason why I raised that concern is that, you see, when we talk about teacher, let me use Ghana for instance.
Like, Charles, why are you on teachers?
We all know that because they are the foundation of every child.
Oh,
you know that, right?
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, sure.
The foundation of every child is in the school. Unless maybe in the villages where you know that you don't go to school, you are home. But most of them. Right now, even as at 6 months, they start leaving their children for teachers.
Yeah.
So basically, my foundation is, or the one who shows me a few things is a teacher.
Right.
So I believe that they have a bigger responsibility than just teaching.
Yeah, but have you heard some of the high net worth people, they'll tell you that your education is not that important.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
however, there's a plot twist.
Okay.
It's not necessarily your education, because we need to define what education is. When I talk about education, I'm not talking about the classroom format of education.
There are forms of education, actually.
Right. So one of the things, as I said, I was a business student, right? Imagine when we are doing a business class and I leave the room just to go and study algorithm. Right. I go to the library. I open books to read on how to build website. Because that time, throughout my entire education time, the school wasn't teaching me those stuff. But from learning from people, experts, reading, watching YouTubers, people that have done, I even knew that AI would be a thing before the school system even started teaching it. So one of the things that you need to do is research, right? Research what works for you. Maybe my way might not be your way. And I think in Africa, when I read this book 0 to 1, I discovered, because it was written by a good friend of Elon Musk. And one of the things I discovered that there's a difference between you being your own form of development and you copying somebody development. And in Africa, it's like we are following the globalization approach where we are copying the West. When you're copying somebody, can you become better than that person?
No.
Exactly. So for us to understand that there's a problem with the education system, because we are copying somebody's education system even here. And it doesn't work for we the youth.
Well, I wouldn't say I 100% agree with you on that. Do you know that the books we read in, you read to learn.
Right.
As you learn, you still copy.
Right.
But the thing is that if you do it differently, you bring this idea, take this idea, and join them together. Right? Definitely, we still have to copy from someone.
What you just described is what we call creativity.
Okay.
So you are using what is already there and bringing what is not there and merging it together as something new.
So what I'm saying right now is me picking what I have learned from this, what I've copied from this,
right?
Copied from that person,
right?
Copied from the other person,
right?
Putting it together,
right?
So Charlie,
creativity
is like gathering knowledge, right?
Yes, creativity is me picking. Okay, let's say I've picked this, and with my own intelligence, try to create something out of this.
Yeah.
That is
every creative person will refer to that. There's always a reference.
Great. So I am saying that definitely you're saying that if you copy someone, you can never be greater than the person.
Yes,
now I am trying to say that we still have to copy someone. There's nothing new under the sun. Let me put it that way. Right. So I still copy from someone, learn from his mistakes, pick someone's own, learn from that person's mistake, and join them together and probably add my own. So I've still copied. It's still copying.
So what I mean we copying, I'm not saying it from the individual's angle.
Okay.
I'm saying it from the state angle.
All right.
Right? Because we end up having a state institutions that operate like Westerners despite them being in Africa.
It's true.
Right? So guess what? The ideas is coming from them. They fund it. Right? So you end up having institutions that are supposed to actually push and support young people. But guess what? The fundings comes with conditions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to meet certain categories of yes, definitely you need to copy somebody, because the best way to grow faster is to learn from somebody who have already done it before. Because if not, why was the need for copyright laws? In a role whereby people are trying to become somebody they can't be, it becomes a concern.
Yeah.
So that is, they're trying to work exactly as the person is doing.
Right. And that is it. Like, you see countries trying to implement policies that works best for the United States people. And if you bring it here, it might not work. And I'm talking from the educational angle, because yes, education is important. Even in the US, they still think the education system needs to be restructured. And even Trump wants to shut down the entire education department for that obvious reason. There's a reason for that. Why? Because along the line, we realized that learning the traditional way was to create people for unemployment, to become workers. But we live in a role whereby work itself is being redefined. So let me give you statistics from the IMF summit that ended this year.
Okay, briefly.
And what we discovered was that there was going to be within the next 2050, there's going to be only 400 million jobs that is going to be created, right? Globally, despite the hype for AI and other stuff. Okay. What will be the population of young people by that time? 2.5 billion. So, okay, you end up having 2.5 billion people with only 400 million jobs. So already the jobs are scarce. And you end up having education institutions that are also training these people for jobs that it won't even be there for them. So what then do we do to address these things? So that is where we come in. Okay, what skill set will be relevant that even if the person doesn't have a job, he can transition and still be relevant in the current world? Because mind you, AI won't take your jobs. Most of the jobs, 20 years ago, typewriter was the major thing.
Yeah.
But today, if you bring typewriter here for your stuff, you're going to be asking me.
You'll be mocked.
Yeah.
But there were experts who were typing and making money out of it. Where is their job? They're out. So we need to look at, okay, what are the things that are going to happen within the next 10 years and how we can structure our education system to fit those things. Because right now, getting a job within the next 2030, I can assure you, we are going to have a mass unemployment. Despite people having good grades. And it's not because that youth, there's no opportunity there. That is where the need for dialogues with policymakers is important.
Wow.
So I think you are even like drawing closer to my next question, which has to do with inclusion, right? Like, I know most youth have ideas, but they lack the platforms and the funding supports.
Right.
What are some of the systems you put in place to help these young people?
So as I said earlier on, one of the first things that we are launching is the Youth Skills Hub initiative. These are opportunities. And we are partnering with UNIDO and the National Youth Authority, another 000, which is a partner institution of Microsoft. And the whole idea is to train you with the various skill set that you need and get the job that is needed for you.
Do you give funding?
At this moment, not really, because we are still in the dialogue stage to also provide this. And listen, we on the continent need to redefine our investment strategy, because I realize that the whole continent, we don't even have a financial framework for the entire funding of the continent. Now that the AU have passed a treaty to set up the Africa monetary policy so that we can have one centralized money circulation on the continent. People will tell you politics, I don't like politics, but politics means your daily life.
Okay.
Right? Everything that we do start with dialogues, policy formations, then strategization and implementation. So we need to know first, identify our problems. So we as a youth group, we are looking at all the problems you have, right? Because we are youth, we can fix your problem, but we will know your problem. And what we're going to do is, now we know the problem, we are going to then put a policy to pass on to the people who make decisions with your money. Because when the government says that he borrowed $2 billion, and you sit down, you're like, okay, I didn't get some of the, because you were not included in the policy formation.
Exactly.
But when you are included in the policy formation, you know, okay, after the talk, we are going for this money, and this is where the money is going. So this is where I have to be to get the money to build what I want to build.
So are you saying they are creating platform for inclusion?
Right.
But for me, I feel like it is for some specific people, not all.
This also draws back to my first point when I was like, the youth was not ready. Because you end up putting it there, right? Boost it. You get a lot of likes, people to like it, but the turnout becomes a little bit concerns. So what I'm trying to let the young people, because this is also opportunity, right? The opportunities are there. Just show up, just apply for it. For instance, there's a saying that even to be employed as a CEO, you need to know the board of directors, right? So if you want to be a CEO of a Coca-Cola and Coca-Cola put application there, the one who has access to the board of directors will get the employment than the one who doesn't.
Okay.
The world runs on relations, network. And this is some of the things when I talk about issues about education system, it doesn't teach these things.
Yeah.
The importance of networking, connecting with the right people to show you the right. Sometimes you enter in an office and all that you got to do is just mention one name.
And you're good to go. That's true.
And you're not just good to go. You will be given VIP treatment.
Yeah. Oh, that's for that one. It
That's
happens.
true. Especially if the person is like that high. Yeah.
Right. So how listen? It's not like we were somewhere and then we were all from the bottom. Did you know that Jeff Bezos, who used to be one of the richest men, he didn't even get the opportunity to meet his father. Right? It wasn't like he came from a rich family. But along the line, we later learned, because 80% of self-made billionaires are actually people who are billionaires in the road are self-made, like they work from scratch. People are sleeping on floors. Google's office was in garage, but you want your office to be in cantonment for you to know that you are working. No, start small. Like, many steps create massive impact. A mini dot hole in a ship can bring entire ship down in the ocean. So don't underestimate your many moves.
I love that.
Get up, reach out, never give up. There's going to be a lot of no. Trust me, a lot of no. But trust me, 1 year can turn that no down. And when people see you, they already know what you are doing, and then they can get it down for you.
Wow. So you have to get up and move. Do it as little as you can. People started from garages. You can also start even from a hand scoop. Wherever you can get to start, you can start and you can surely make it. Well, also soon we're coming to the end of today's show. But before we go, Mr. Carlos, Ambassador Carlos. Sorry, by mistake. So, if you could directly talk to one young person who feels powerless, invisible, right now, what would you tell them? Like someone out there who wants to do something but still feeling powerless, feeling invisible, not seen. What would you tell them?
What I'll tell them is that your challenges is just an illusion. right? Your blockage that you think is a blockage is just an illusion. The old people you see at the top also started young, but today they are at the top. So it tells you that if you continue doing what you do, yeah, you might be old, but you will still be at the top. So don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. And the word can't isn't in my dictionary. So first of all, you need to have psychological awareness, know thyself, know your strength and your weakness, and just connect with the right people. There's a problem we have in Africa that, okay, you are my rival. One book that I learned and it helped me is that sometimes know how to use even your own enemies to get what you want.
That's true. That's true.
This is a full motivational session.
Exactly.
I bet you, if you're out there, let me tell you. In fact, I've loved the show. In fact, today I've really enjoyed it. It has been very interesting. It's a full motivational session. If you're out there, I know you are motivated. You see, the word can't shouldn't be in your dictionary. Your rival. Go on and be your rival. There are people who say that because I don't talk to this person, so you can't help this person, or you can't if this person can help you build your business, because I don't talk to the person, you shouldn't also go near.
Let me even give you one of the things I learned during December. You see the two parties, the NDC and NPP, right? So you may think, okay, NDC is a rival to NPP, or President Mahama is a rival to Akufo-Addo, or the vice, right?
Yeah.
The vice president, Dr. Belmia. But I was in a room and with them, and that's when I realized the whole rival thing is not a rival; they are a whole force.
It's not a rival. For lack of better words, you sit there and play.
People were, when you get to the grass, you're like, oh, Muhammad, and in that room, that's when I realized
they're friends.
They are all in the same boat, chilling for the same thing. So when one is in off power, the other one will still benefit.
It's still the same thing,
right? So also, as I said, know your strength. Because if you don't know your value, people can easily come in and just use you for nothing, right? Because you hear a lot of young people like you have been used and other. Know your value first, and then build your strength. Right? So me, I focus on my strength, not necessarily my weaknesses, because somebody's already taking care of my weaknesses. Right? You know, when the president is coming to deliver a speech, there's a whole department set down to make sure that he says the right thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So nobody's perfect. Where you're born does not determine where you're going. Oprah have already proven that. Elon have already proven that. There's already a track record, right? Jack Ma, who didn't know how to speak English, who didn't even know how to communicate. Now he has a lot of $1 billion companies, even in the US. Start small, because sometimes, yes, dreaming big is big, but dreaming big without action is just dreams.
It will always remain dreams.
You know, because I meet a lot of people, I have this idea and they haven't even developed a concept note.
Absolutely, this is inspiring. And like
thank you. If you're watching out there and you're not inspired, probably is it that you were not following, or let me just keep my words. But I tell you, this whole conversation is about a lot of people having big dreams and feel like I can start it, I can do this, I can do that. Bro, sis, if you're out there and you're watching right now, this should move you. You can start small, know your strength, capitalize on it, and do your best. Find links, connect with the right people. Don't be shy. This is what you have and this is what you can do. Do it and be best at it and you'll get there. I won't talk plenty, but I'm still reminding you that this show was proudly brought to you by DAYSTYLLE Fashion. We say every day in style. FekaTek Ventures, we say that we are here to serve. And Believe CONCEPTZ, we say your design solutions. So also soon, we have come to the end of today's show. And today with my man,
all right, so that was so beautiful and inspiring. So thank you so much, Ambassador Carlos, for coming on Young and Active. We're so much inspired here, and I believe everyone watching here has also been inspired, at least, if not for anything, a word or two to go. And if you are there, or you know someone who needs a reminder, or like someone who feels invisible and powerless, just share this video to the person, especially if you feel like this video hits home for you. kindly share it to someone and let the person be inspired by our ambassador Carlos today on unleashing potentials in Africa. Kindly do join us on our social media platform, especially on YouTube at ADZoone TV, and also on all our social media handles on ADZoone TV. This show has been inspiring, and I was doing this with my co-host
Nana Charles, call me NYC for short. Charlie Thursday, this is still my name. Whatever you call me, I am here to be at your service. And it has been an awesome one. Till we meet again, we say it's bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.